SJ, a rollercoaster year in the NEAFL, ended with a finals appearance. You must be pretty happy with how the year went as a whole.
Look, we certainly are really happy, but as you touched on, it was a real roller coaster. I've never really come across a season like this before. I think we've played nearly up to 70 odd players, so at times it was pretty tough. We did have the tough times, but of course then you touch on what you spoke about, finals. To play finals with the group and the way we ended up doing it in the end was fantastic. Massive achievement.
It was 79 players used across the year. How hard is it to build continuity with that many players?
Look, it's really hard. For the first time I experienced it, I remember one particular game, we only had 3 listed players playing, and I know the coaches at one point were a little bit upset about that. So I tried to be fair, and I put one particular player on each line. So Maxi Rourke had one down back, and Skinny had one in the midfield, and of course we had one down the forward line. But look, I know we have a bit of a laugh about it, but it is really tough. We had players come in for the first time and play for us, and we actually met them on the day. I think we had 4 or 5 come down from Cairns, and of course we get a few from the local competitions, and it really is tough. It's a hard job, but we just got to try and bring together the best we can and develop the group we do have there on the Saturday and get them all playing together.
We had 20 single gamers, which is an incredible stat. You sort of compare it to Collingwood in the VFL. They had 49 players and only 4 single gamers. It's incredible, isn't it?
Yeah, it's really tough. So you look at, that's a really good example. But look, I don't know how we fix it. There's been talk, I believe, around for a little while, but of course I'm only here new for this year. There has been talk, I believe, around for a while that they're going to try and maybe bring a supplementary list in, which personally I reckon will be ideal. It'll certainly help and won't put as much pressure on us, especially when we get injuries that we had this year, because obviously when the senior team really gets hit the way they did, it just reflects on our NEAFL team, and unfortunately at times we've got to put some players out there that probably shouldn't go out there, so that's a little bit of a concern for mine as well.
It probably hurts the development of those listed players that are out there as well.
I totally agree. I couldn't agree more. And I brought that up one day, if one of the managers was here on that particular day when we only had 3 or 4 listed, and they saw the calibre of players that we were putting out there that are meant to be helping these players develop, they'd probably be a little bit disappointed. So that's something I suppose as a club we're going to have a look at down the track.
We had 16 academy players play in that elimination final a couple of weeks ago, and that's probably a positive to come out of it.
That was really exciting. There's a couple of really good ones there, so I'm looking forward to, obviously everyone speaks about Jack Bowes, he's pretty exciting, and Brad Shear. And then we had some younger kids that are only 16, 17 years of age, in Braden Crosley and young Jacob Dawson. I think they've got a really bright future too, so that's really exciting. It was great. With kids, you do get enthusiasm, and they're really excited about making the finals, and they're really up and about, but at the end of the day, we're just beaten by a much better and stronger side.
And what was your biggest take out of the year in terms of learnings and things like that?
Look, I suppose the biggest one for me, I'd never experienced a few of the things that we did cop this year, player personnel. I suppose my background, of course, you've always got the sides you put out there, you go and recruit it, and those players play week in, week out. So this year, you virtually have players coming from everywhere week in, week out, and you've got to throw them all together at the last minute and put them all out there and try and make it work. So I found that very challenging, but also very enjoyable. So I was lucky. You learn a hell of a lot, but most importantly, you get to meet, I suppose, a whole different variety of player, and you get to meet a hell of a lot of new people. So that's a real positive for me.
And on those new people, how did you go, and so in terms of the development coaches, how did you see their performance in this year?
Oh, look, it was all great. I suppose we've got a really good group over there at the moment, right through. We all pretty much stick together, development boys and the AFL boys, so we're all in it together, so to speak. So everyone gets on really, really well. Everyone learns, off one another, which is really great. And it's a real positive feeling over there, especially after the year that we have had with the injuries and that we've copped. It's great to see that everyone's still really upbeat. And now we look forward to next year, and it's quite exciting what's going to happen.
It's probably a little bit early to look too far ahead, but what are the goals for 2017?
For one, I hope we don't have the injuries that we had this year. So I suppose getting personnel out in the park, that'd be really important. And I think JC's now, he's been in here for a year, so he's had a real look and a real understanding of the place. And I reckon that's going to be a real big bonus for us that he's already been here. And he'll put his structures and everything in place. I'm sure it'll pay dividends.
From the outside, you probably don't see the impact JC's had, but there has been some major changes in that area, particularly with players' body shapes and their progress there.
There has. We went through it actually this morning, just in a meeting that we had on that, and I think nearly every player's, lost body fat and put on muscle which is just terrific. So his program, it certainly does work, and as I touched on, him already being here already for that year and the boys seeing his program, I think we're going to play, it's going to play huge dividends going forward for the club, which is pretty exciting. And JC will tell you that too.
And just lastly, you're on leave now. What are the plans?
Yeah, I wish I was actually going away or doing something, but I'm not doing much at all. Matty Primus has got me doing a little bit of work around at his house, and Chopper's got me doing a little bit of trade work around at his house. And if anyone else out there wants a bit of work done, just come and see me. At the moment, that's what it seems to be doing. But I won't be doing much, mate, just helping out.
Enjoy.
Thank you very much. Thanks, gentlemen.